Hello, it's Julia Kelly from Moonflower Studio Stitch, and I am working on my chickadee and winter berries, and I just had to take out this berry right here because I made a mistake, and I thought it would be a good thing to point out to you on fractional stitching, and also I'm going to include it. I'm going to start a playlist of fractional stitching tips. So this is the berry I'm doing right here. If you notice, these are side by side. So they're squares next to each other. This square is, a fractional stitch diagonal this way, and this square is a fractional stitch this way. It is very easy when you're stitching along and just kind of not paying great attention to instead to look at it quick and then for some reason in your head think that this is up and down. That a lot of times I'll put it here and I think that's the direction, and there's something, I don't know, it's just in your brain, is sometimes you don't notice that they're side by side. So I stitched this berry and then it was off. I needed another row down here, and I thought, well, what's wrong? And I thought, oh, okay, number one thing, if they're not matching up, is to verify that the diagonal is side by side or the diagonal is up and down. So I took it out, and now I'm going to stitch it up and down. So it's a diagonal, it's a fractional stitch, a whole stitch, and a fractional stitch. So put that aside. So what I'm saying is, here's the diagonal here. You can see here how this one is already kind of opened up. I did it here. Instead, I needed to do it here. And that was the boo-boo. So fractional stitch, I do stitch on 14 count Aida, and you can go to my, I have a Moonflower Musing episode, studio vlog number 2, I think, that I share how easy it is to do fractional stitches on Aida, but you're going to do a quarter stitch, as I bump the camera. You're going to do a quarter stitch, and then you do a diagonal or half stitch across that quarter stitch is how you do your fractional stitch. Try not to pick up any fuzzies. And like I've said before, you count your fractional stitches like in music, like a not a full note. So this would be and 1. Only count full X's as your whole note or your whole, 1. And then what did I say? One more through the center, diagonal this way. And I have a new very long piece of floss, and the camera is like right above my hand, so I keep bumping it. Okay, so that's that row. Let's check it. And you do need to check, you're kind of check around what you're doing a little bit more with fractional stitches than I do with normal stitches. So now that's on the correct row, because those two were side by side instead of up and down. So now I have it in the right alignment. So now I need 2 rows of 3. And so 1, 2, I'm pulling weird because Like I said, the camera is right on the other side, right above my hand. So, another row, 1, 2, and you see I'm stitching in hand. I'll show you a trick to even out my X's here in a second. But I like stitching in hand because I like the portability of just having a half little bag and then being able to go anywhere. So when I do fractional stitches, I like to do the whole stitches around them first. It kind of gives them, if at all possible, it's not always possible, but I think it gives them something to kind of anchor themselves against, where they're not as wonky as they could be. So there's my full X, and the same thing on this side. I'm going to go up that center, piercing it with my sharp needle, come through, make my quarter stitch diagonal leg, and then come across, again as I bump the camera, come straight across. And your fractional stitch really isn't anchored until you start your next stitch. So I'm going to come up wherever that next stitch is. Oh my gosh. You would not believe how, well, you saw how long this thread is. So you come up wherever your next stitch is. And then you can kind of help this one get positioned by just kind of pushing, I'm just slightly pushing it over with my thumb. And then just giving an extra little tug. But when I give a tug, I don't give a tug without any control. I literally have my thumb and my finger pressing down. So there is a little bit of control for that stitch, and it's not just a yank. And then I do that same thing. I'm kind of holding on. That's the last one. I'm holding on, and then I think now I need to get up to this berry. So this jump, so if you look at this, there's one row between, and then this starts one above this. So that's, I need to get that stitch, one over and then one above this. Now, the other thing about Ada, if you look on the back side, and I need to go up to, sometimes it helps, I put a finger kind of the direction I need to go, so I'm in the right, I go the right direction on the back side. This is a trick about Ada that's kind of cool. Because of this interwovenness, I can travel along by lifting up the back two woven threads. And this is red thread, right? So you're like, oh my gosh, you're going to see that on the other side. So I'm just getting up closer to where the next berry is. Now let's see if you turn it, oh, and then I kind of locked it a little bit. So when I pull, I'm not going to pull that. I kind of locked it off. But you can't even see it on this side because it actually has the way these 4 interwoven threads are woven. You literally have a little pocket here that you don't see. So what did I, okay, after all that talking, I got to remind myself. I need to go 2 over and 1 up. So that's 2 over. And I want to say that that's 1 up. Am I correct? 2 over, 1 over and 1 up. 1 over and 1 up, and it's going to angle this way for that first diagonal stitch. And then where am I going? Same thing. fractional, whole, fractional. Okay, so I want to go. I don't like to do that. I think it kind of pulls on itself. So I will like just go straight down and kind of poke and stick if I'm in that situation. Now remember, did you see how that tightened up when I pulled up on that one, that the last stitch kind of tightened up. So then a hole. And another fractional. Am I still in frame? Got a new camera and I'm trying to, which is better, but putting it on an arm at my stitching spot, I'm still kind of playing around with it. And a fractional. Goes to here, and I'm knowing I sound like I'm a heavy breather. It's because my mouth is like right here. And it seems to me kind of have a dip. So I need to do a fractional this direction. Down. And now what I don't remember is what comes next. So I did that whole, so another one and fractional stitch. And then one. And a fractional. Now the question is, did I make the alignment right? Because you can see, do I want to even know if I made the alignment right? That's the question. And then I assume I'm going to go here. So you can see this row aligns with this. So let's see how close I am to doing that. Nope. Well, I have to undo my paper to show you. Okay. So yeah. So just the caution thing is really like double look whether or not your fractional stitches are side by side or up and down, and say it out loud. And a lot of times when I'm off a count, if I go back, it's because I didn't start the fractional stitch in the right place. So I hope that helps.